Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of The Porch. And as you come on, please become a part of the broadcast by sharing, by commenting. And as we continue our book by book journey through the Bible, today we're going to discuss the letter, Paul's letter to Timothy, 1 Timothy, the book of the minister, the book of the minister. So again, thank all of those that are coming on, those that will share today's broadcast. I need you to share it. I haven't been on the porch in a little over maybe a week now because I've been traveling, had a vacation time with my family. So I wanted to come on today as we continue, as we come into the month of April. This is the fourth month, a new month. And continue this teaching all the way through the book of Revelation. I decree double over you today, double favor, double grace, double prosperity, double blessing, double peace, double shalom. May you experience the double, not even limited to the double. Deuteronomy 1:11, may God multiply you 1,000 times more. Malachi 3:10, may the windows of heaven be opened over you and God pour out a blessing so large enough you'll not have room enough to receive it. Malachi 1:5, may the Lord do a work in your finances, your business, your account that you'll not believe though it be told you. Ephesians 3:20, may the Lord do exceeding abundantly above all that you can ask or think. Isaiah 54:3, may you break forth on the right hand and on the left. Isaiah 66:14, may you come into a wealthy place. Psalms 112 verse 3, may wealth and riches come into your house. 2 Corinthians 9 and 8. May God make all grace abound toward you, that you having all sufficiency in all things, you may abound to every good work. Job 28:1. May you find the vein for silver and the vein for gold. I decree Isaiah 60 over you. Let the Ka'il and the wealth of the nations come through your open gates. May your gates be open continually. May you find favor in the eyes of God and man. May God give you favor as you give. May it be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Psalm 23, may your cup run over, running over. Let the blessing of the Lord make rich. Proverbs 10:33, and add no sorrow. May the wealth of the sinner come into your hands. Proverbs 13:22. I make these decrees over those that are giving this month. Based on Job 22:28, which says, you shall decree a thing and it shall be established. I issue this decree. Thank you for every partner, your partnership in the gospel, your ministering and being a part of this ministry. Thank you so much. If you've been blessed, enjoyed the teaching, you want to sow into the poor, help me give in these missions projects. We've dug over 55 water projects in nations like Mali, Chad, Niger, Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Senegal, South Africa, Malawi. It's been amazing. I'm trying to think of the nation in Central America that we've also had a water project in. Belize. All these nations we've been touching, and now the clinic is open for prenatal care and babies in Liberia. We've dug over 16 wells in Liberia, major projects, and you help us to do that. And I decree Psalms 41 that the blessings for giving to the poor will come upon your life, that God will deliver you, that God will preserve you, God will keep you alive, God will make up your bed in sickness. The promises of God to those who consider the poor, Psalms 41 verses 1-3. And again, if you want to help me, this is a new month. I want you to sow this month a seed of $44 or more. You can do better. If you want to sow a large seed into this project, you really want to help us sow a large seed. There may be business people that can sow something large, significant to help us do what we're doing. We're taking care of orphans. We're blessing widows. We're blessing mothers and women, digging water holes in places where they didn't have clean water. And it's changing the whole area just because of clean water. So thank you so much. Let's go into the teaching. We just looked at 1 Thessalonians, the book of the coming of the Lord. 2 Thessalonians, the book of patient waiting. And now we go into 1 Timothy, the book of the minister. The book of the minister. And I'm going to read directly from my notes. Hopefully you'll have these available very soon. 1 Timothy is one of the pastoral epistles. The pastoral epistles are, of course, 1st, 2nd Timothy, and Titus. They're called the pastoral epistles because they're really written to pastors and overseers at that time. And they give us some amazing principles concerning ministry, ministers, pastors, overseers, what I call godly leadership, which is so important in every generation. All three are letters from Paul, who is teaching on church organization, discipline, the appointment of elders and deacons, rebellious members or false teachers, and the maintenance of doctrinal purity. Let me read that again. All these are letters from Paul, who is teaching on church organization, discipline, the appointment of elders and deacons, rebellious members, false teachers, and the maintenance of doctrinal purity. So they're very important epistles, because now we're getting into, especially into the appointment of leadership, elders, deacons in the local church. Paul encourages Timothy, who was the overseer of the Ephesian church. Timothy was Paul's son in the faith. Paul encourages Timothy to be faithful in his ministry and his gift. Timothy is told to war according to the prophecies spoken over his life. 1 Timothy 1:18. Timothy was encouraged to teach sound doctrine and set qualified bishops or elders. Bishops and elders are the same thing. The word bishop is the word episkopos in the Greek, which means an overseer. The word elder is presbyteros, which means a mature person. So they selected mature leaders to be the bishops or overseers or elders of the local church. He was told to set qualified bishops or elders and deacons in place. Christ is the only mediator between God and man. 1 Timothy 2:5. Okay, here are the key verses. 1 Timothy 2:5. For there is one God and one mediator between God and men, the man Christ Jesus. 1 Timothy 3:15. But if I tarry long, that thou mayest knowest how thou ought to behave thyself in the house of God, which is the church of the living God, the pillar and ground of the truth. 1 Timothy 4:6. If thou put the brethren in remembrance of these things, that thou shalt be a good minister of Jesus Christ, nourished up in the words of faith and of good doctrine, whereunto thou hast attained. 1 Timothy 4:13 through 14. Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which is given to thee by prophecy, with the laying on of hands of the presbytery. Key words: doctrine, minister, bishop, deacon. Doctrine. Teaching. Paul encourages Timothy to teach sound doctrine. This is not surprising, considering strange teachings that were prevalent in the early church. Minister. Timothy was encouraged to be a good minister. Bishop, an elder and overseer of the local church. Deacon, a servant of the local church. Key figures: Paul, apostle and father to Timothy. Timothy, Paul's son in the faith, who was appointed as the overseer of the Ephesian church. And the next book will be 2 Timothy, the book of sound doctrine. The book of sound doctrine. Maybe we'll let me see. I'll just leave that tomorrow, and we'll do that one tomorrow. The book of sound doctrine. Now, it's interesting that the importance of leadership in the church, people that are mature, elders, maturity. You don't put a novice as an overseer of a church. Overseer, the responsibility of overseers to watch the flock of God, to teach. One of the things when we talk about pastors, the word pastor is from the Greek word poimen, which means to feed. One of the major responsibilities of a pastor, an overseer, a bishop is to feed the flock of God. Jeremiah 3:15, I will give you pastors shepherds according to my own heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. It's one of the major purposes, to watch your soul, and then to watch the flock of God, to feed the flock of God, to watch the flock of God, to drive off wolves, to make sure that purity in doctrine. Doctrine is very important to God. I don't think we should be obsessive with doctrine, because some churches get obsessed with a particular doctrine and they make that the only doctrine that's important. But doctrine is important. We have to have people that have sound doctrine, not divers and strange doctrines, which is still a problem in some places today. The enemy will try to corrupt the church through false teaching, false doctrine, corrupt doctrine, and bad leadership. People that are immature, not qualified, they don't have godly character, don't walk in love, patience. And one of the problems we have in the church is we have leadership that doesn't have the fruit of the Spirit, don't operate in kindness, meekness, humility, grace, love, compassion, sexual purity, marital purity. It can be a major problem in the church. And you are, as a believer, you're responsible to make sure that you submit to godly leadership, and that we actually put people in leadership that are godly people, that have sound doctrine and godly character. This is what these books are very important, and why they're very important when it comes to the local church. 1 Timothy, the book of the ministry. 2 Timothy, the book of sound doctrine. So we're going to talk about it some more in Clubhouse, for those that are, of course, in Clubhouse. And we're going to do it again in Facebook Live. And again, if you want to share the broadcast here on Facebook Live, just click the icon. Don't forget to sow, especially what we're doing overseas in our clinic, in our water projects. Go to Cash App JE Global, or PayPal at paypal.me/ApostleJE1. You can click those on the giving addresses. Sow a seed of $44 if you can this month, for the month of April. I decree that April will be a blessed month for you from the beginning to the end. That favor, grace, blessing, prosperity, abundance, multiplication will be your portion. Peace and shalom will be your portion in the month of April. I decree that over you. Double shalom, double for your shame. I decree it, I speak it, and I release it by faith. And I pray that God will multiply your seed sown, and that new favor will come for you in this new month. New month, new favor. Let it come. Don't